Thomas with reports on housing with yet another housing debrief. And invite everybody to smash that like button as hard as you possibly can because we want as many people to view this as possible. And the only way to do that is to get a lot of people viewing it and liking our channel. And it's not about count the number of people that are watching it. Really, for me, I don't anticipate ever getting paid by YouTube to do these. However, what I do want to do is get as many people out there as possible to get the right data and stats so they can make great decisions based upon what's really going on in the marketplace. I do not have a narrative that I'm trying to push out. I'm not a cheerleader for real estate. I call it like it is so that everybody can make great grown-up decisions based upon that. And speaking of our housing reports, we have breaking news because we launched today the Bay Area Housing Report. So they just got the same one that came out for Orange County, Los Angeles, San Diego County last week. San Bernardino and Riverside got theirs this week, and now the Bay Area gets it as well. Constrained 2023 inventory. You don't know how excited I am that we finally launched this thing because I've been talking about it for a year. Last year was such a goofy year for economics and this uncharted territory that we just had to keep on plugging along and pushing off when we finally launched it. But here we are, we launched it. Part of that reason that we're able to do it and expand even further is because our son has graduated from Washington State University and he will be joining the team, or actually he already has joined the team. And so that will allow us to expand even further beyond Southern California and the Bay Area. And we're going to continue to get great housing analytics to as many markets as we possibly can. So this week, we're talking about housing's affordability issue. There still is an affordability issue. You hear right now that there's tremendous demand, and there is strong demand, but there's a caveat to all that, and we will talk about it. So last year, we went from 3.25% interest rate all the way up to 7.37%. And as that kept on ratcheting up higher and higher and higher, it really impacted demand and impacted affordability. And you can see this in the various counties. This is Los Angeles County. This is the number of, this is the Housing Affordability Index brought to you by California Association of Realtors. And you can see that it's into the teens as far as how many people in the county can actually afford that median priced property. And you could see it in Orange County. It's down into the teens, and you can see it in Riverside County. It's down close to, it's the low 20s, but you could see where it was before. I mean, way back when in 2012, it was like 60% of everybody in the county could afford the median priced home. And San Bernardino County has dipped below 30%. San Diego County is also in the teens. Now, I'm only going to give you a couple of Bay Area Bay Area counties. And the reason for that is because they all did this funky thing where even though the interest rates have been ratcheting up, the median price is so high, but the incomes are so high that it really didn't make that big of an impact with these rising rates as far as the Housing Affordability Index is concerned. And you can also see it. Sonoma County is one of those exceptions. There's only a couple exceptions where you could see it's dipped below into the teens. And that's because the median sales price is a lot lower and you've got more people that are looking for affordable housing out there. So I wanted to talk about this because this is very, very interesting. This is the Los Angeles County affordability over time. I only did a couple of counties because I wanted to really hone in on how much of the monthly income is being devoted to the payment. And you can see this over time that I've gone back to 1980, and you can see that back in 1980 we had this similar where we had interest rates that were extremely high. But you could see at the beginning of the expansion in 2012, only 27% of the median income on a monthly basis was being devoted to the payment. So that was a really, really a strong time to purchase. And you can see the median detached price was $327,000 for Los Angeles County. Well, you can see how that this got higher and higher and higher. It went from 27 to 37% in 2020 to 2021 to 42%, and in 2022. 57% of the median household income is being devoted to the median priced house payment. And in 2023, it's 52%. And partly it's gone down a little bit, and that's because of, if you see this median detached price, it is a lot less. Now, this is a monthly basis median detached price, and it fluctuates like crazy. So in Orange County, though, you can see in 2012, 33%. And in 2022, it was 62% of the monthly household income was being devoted to exhausting the monthly payment. And in 2023, it's 70%. That's kind of like it was last year. And I talked about it last year. When you have, last week, when you have this affordability issue and interest rates rising higher and higher and higher, what happens is that pool of buyer demand went from, when we had 3.25% interest rate at the start of last year, where everybody, it was a feeding frenzy. There wasn't a lot of homes available, and there were a lot of people bumping into each other. And then as interest rates went up, that pool of buyers shrunk down more and more until we got to above 7% in October and November. But you're wondering, okay, if there's this affordability issue, why in the world does it seem like there's so much demand if you're a buyer in the marketplace right now today? Because this is what's going on. You've got people bumping into each other at open houses. You've got these bidding wars going on where you have homes selling for above their asking price. Again, it's making its way towards 40% of all homes in California are selling above their asking price. And prior to COVID, that was the height. And we're going to make our way there in 2023 with these higher rates. And you're wondering what's going on. And really, you could see the impact of demand. There actually is not as much demand as what people are talking about. Kind of talked about this a little bit last week, but again, you could see where demand is right now. And demand is, it looks like, oh, we've been lower before. But really what's very telling, because this is where demand is right now, is I'm pointing to where we have been during the month, at the very, very start of May. Those are each of those black lines. And I wanted to point out that red line, that was 2020. That was the month of April. It went like halfway up where the orange dotted line is for May. And then by the time we got to June and July and August, it was really, really high because we had this late spring because of COVID. But all those other black lines are May of each of those years. And you can see that's typically where we peak, between April and May, right around there. And you can see every single April, May is a lot higher than where we are right now across the board. The only time it was less was April of 2020, and that was due to the COVID lockdowns. So we are dealing with a very, very low demand. And my demand reading is the last 30 days of pending sales. Now, this has a lot to do with home affordability, but this is a snapshot of pending sales. The pending sales would actually be a lot higher. The pending sales would be a lot higher if we had more homes on the market, because we definitely need to talk about that, because right now demand is off 33%. Compared to what we normally have prior to COVID, what we normally have that we place into pending status. So we're missing a third of all pending sales right now. And that's why you're hearing that closed sales are down. And you think it's an affordability issue, but that's only a piece of the puzzle. Because here we are in Southern California, demand for all of Southern California, this is a snapshot of the last 30 days worth of pending sales, 11,759. It's actually gone down a little bit, which I think for right now, as long as interest rates remain at 6.5%, this is a peak. But if interest rates drop below to the low sixes or down to 6% or even below 6%, we could actually see this rise again, and we can have a demand go up, and we might peak later on this year. We'll just have to stay tuned and wait to see. But last year at this time, we had 15,188, 29% more. And pre-COVID was at 17,929. That is 52% higher. That's prior to COVID, 2017, 18, and 19. That's what we're doing, a snapshot, comparing it to when things were normal. And if you look over here at Bay Area, this is the first time I'm showing this. I'm kind of excited about it. Today we're at 5,602. Last year we were at 6,192, which is 11% higher than where we are today. That's that orange line. Now, I didn't start this until May of 2021, so I have right now about 2 years worth of data. We're hitting our 2-year mark, but there will be more data in time, and I kind of know based upon the statistics and all that exactly where we are in the Bay Area. So I showed you low demand, but we really need to talk about this low supply again. We've been talking about it for a long time, but you have to talk about it over and over again because this is where the available number of homes are right now. And right now I'm drawing a line across, and you can see the only time that we were lower was during the COVID years of 2021 and 2022, where it bottomed out even more. And you can see it right here that the number of available homes actually is rising slightly, but it's risen for the first time in this last 2-week period of time. So we're at 18,068. Finally, it looks like we've hit a bottom. We should have hit the bottom typically right around February for all of Southern California, and then it continues to go up. But we haven't had a typical year this year and the last few years. So once again, and not a typical year. Last year, we had 18,976. There were more homes last year in all of Southern California than there are right now. That's 5% more, and that is something huge to because everybody thinks that there's a lot more homes than last year. That's gone away because last year the inventory was rising really fast, and this year it dropped quite a bit. Prior to COVID, we were at 38,466. That's 113% higher than where we are today. That means double. There are some markets like Orange County and San Diego County that the normal level for prior to COVID is triple where it is today. That just shows you we are missing a lot of homes on the market. And it's not because we're placing everything into escrow. It is there's something else going on, and we've talked about it before. But first I want to talk about Bay Area. Today it's at 5,602. Last year was at 6,192, 11% higher than where we are today, and it was screaming higher. As a matter of fact, where it is right now looks like it's going to dip below 2021 as well. That is exactly what is going on in Orange County and San Diego County right now as well. So it's very interesting to take a look at this because that explains why it's so hot, because there's nothing available. And the Bay Area, contrary to what everybody's hearing, the West Coast is getting hammered. Yes, year over year statistics, it is down. And since the top of the market to where it is today, down. However, within the last couple months, what we've seen is we're seeing values go up and not down, contrary to what everybody is thinking. And that's because of the lack of homes available. People are hunkering down on their properties because they have these underlying rates, a fixed mortgage rate on a monthly basis. With 89% of everybody in California has an interest rate at 5% or lower, 71% at 4% or lower, and 29% at 3% or lower. I keep on bringing this up because it's fascinating. It explains why people are staying in their houses, because they say, shoot, you know what? I can maybe afford to move, but I don't want to. I love my low rate, and it's kind of like if they move off, they're gonna more of the disposable income is going to be exhausting their monthly obligation. So they're pretty happy with where they're at. Now in Southern California, we did this last week, but I'm talking about it again because we're missing 40,000 sellers so far in 2023, bigger than the initial COVID lockdown those first 4 months. As a matter of fact, 42% of the market is missing right now. Homeowners that decided not to place their homes on the market. We're comparing this to every year it's about the same, 2017, 18, and 19. And you can actually see it in Southern California. You can see those lines. They're very, very similar. And where we are this year is that blue line, and the blue dotted line is the projections for the total year. We're going to be missing about 114,500 homes based upon the first 4 months of this year. Now, I did this also for the Bay Area. And you can see the initial lockdown. There were a few. There were quite a few homes that were missing. But after that, we actually they placed more homes on the market in the Bay Area for all of 2020, more than the 3-year average prior to COVID. So after those initial 4 months, after that, it was smooth sailing, and there was a lot more homes that were coming on the market. And you can also see it here in the statistics for this year. Wow, it really does say a lot. If you draw the dotted line out based upon the first 4 months, we're going to be missing quite a few homes in the Bay Area to 27,000 missing for sale signs. There weren't that many missing last year. That's that orange line. It wasn't until the second half of the year where it started to trail downward. But this year, it's like everywhere else in the country, there are fewer homeowners that are placing their homes on the market. And really what this is last year we had values going down because we had this very low supply. versus affordability was constantly being eroded as interest rates were rising and the supply was actually growing. So that's where it created buyers that really did not want to overpay. They did not know where we were going. So they really had a problem with, gosh, I don't know if I want to purchase right now. If I do, I want some sort of a deal. So there was a lot more negotiations taking place. But then along came, since October on, you watch the inventory really fall. And now we have and it continued to fall throughout this year. So where it finally bottomed out, now we have a really low supply. And affordability isn't as big of an issue for a lot of buyers that were waiting before. They're going, yeah, you know what? We're willing to do it. We're dual income and we want to do it because there are a lot of millennials. There's a lot of buyers, but a lot of millennials that want to purchase. They're formulating households. They got married. They're having babies. They want a house. So as a result, they're out there in the marketplace, but they're all chasing after crumbs. There are very few homes that are active, that are on the market. The best analogy I can give is it's like Disneyland. Half of the Disneyland is closed right now. So if half of Disneyland is closed right now, not half of the rides are closed, but you have fewer people that are in there, like half of the normal number of people that are in there on any given day, they're in there, there's still long lines because half of the rides are closed. Now, if you all of a sudden opened up all the rides, you know that the lines would be smaller and it would be great. It'd be smooth selling, kind of like a buyer's market. The problem is this is the same thing. We have half of our market pretty much almost missing. They're not coming onto the market, so that the diminished buying pool is just chasing after the crumbs that are available that come on the market on a daily basis. So the speed of the market as a result of what I've just described has really sped up. And you can see today for all of Southern California, it's at 46-day expected market time. I think it went up a day. It was at 45 days for like a month. Last year was at 37 days at this time, but it was climbing really fast. We're going to climb right underneath of that orange line within the next couple of weeks. Pre-COVID, the 3 years prior was at 65 days. So right now it's a pretty darned hot market. Anything below 50 is really dialed in and hot. And you could see it in the Bay Area as well. Today it's at 41 days. Like I said, in the next couple of weeks, what is it going to do? It's going to cross through that orange line, because the orange line was going up like crazy at a really fast rate. Because last year was at 31 days, but was climbing like a rocket. So it's a seller's market out there right now. I kind of described why it's a seller's market. Another reason, even though there's an affordability issue and buyers are not able to afford, they are still lining up the few that can, and they're chasing after the few crumbs that remain. Home values are on the rise, and it is extremely frustrating for buyers, as well as a lot of people in the real estate industry. People think that they make hand over fist money, but that's not what's going on. They work hard for their money, A. B, they're doing a considerable fewer number of units this year, and also the latter half of last year. So it's frustrating to be them as well. Frustrating all the way around. And the way that the market is right now, I term it as unhealthy. I wish that we had more homes on the market, a lot more homes, so that we can adequately replenish supply and we don't have values continue to soar, because they've already done that. If you want a copy of the housing report, please go to reportsonhousing.com and subscribe, because any subscriber gets this for free every single week that we do the housing debrief. And you can go to reportsonhousing.com. You'll get the most recent one, regardless of the county that you're in, by utilizing the coupon code FACTS. FACTS is the coupon code. Go to reportsonhousing.com, tap into that new Bay Area report, give it a test spin, and you know what? We're going to continue to bring you more information, great information. So thank you for tuning in to yet another housing debrief. I hope you got a lot of information from this. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic finish to your week. We will see you on the other side.